Yo, what is going on, guys? Flash First here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 8. And for today's video, I'll be going over some behind the scenes photos from The Flash Season 8 Episode 6. And this is actually behind the scenes from after they wrapped up filming this episode. So yeah, we will be going on to Episode 7 pretty soon. And from what I'm seeing from these behind the scenes photos, it looks very interesting. But what I will be going over is actually coming from John Wesley Shipp's Instagram, and that's obviously the actor who obviously plays Jay Garrick and Henry Allen. But also, I will be popping up some set photos from Candagraphs throughout the video because it does kind of link to what we're going to be talking about during this video. So, huge credit to him for these set photos. His blog link will be in the description down below if you guys want to check out other posts which I wouldn't have added on this video. So obviously one thing we know that we're getting going into The Flash Season 8 is that the first 5 episodes will feature a special event titled Armageddon, which is a crossover. Armageddon will essentially be a crossover taking place within the first 5 episodes of The Flash Season 8, and this special event will be known as graphic novel number 5. So yes, we are still sticking with the graphic novel approach. This will be graphic novel number 5, where we'll be having a bunch of guest stars joining us for these first 5 episodes. So joining the heroes, we will have obviously Team Flash, but then we have Mia Queen's Green Arrow, Batwoman, Black Lightning, The Atom, Alex Danvers, and Ryan Choi. And this is just very exciting because this is the first crossover we are getting since Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the trailer obviously looks really sick as well. But joining the villains, we have Damien Darhk and Ia Barton, aka the Reverse Flash, and they will actually be forming a team of their own, and this will essentially be a reformed version of the Legion of Doom. Now, as we know, Damien Darhk has died on Legends of Tomorrow, so this will actually be a Damien Darhk who has time traveled, and he will be around the time of Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 to Season 3, somewhere around there, because after that, Damien Darhk slowly starts to redeem himself, whereas in Arrow Season 4, Legends Season 2, and Season 3, he is a villain then. So this version of Damien Darhk will be one who's from the past, but is time traveled to present day, or something along those lines at least. I would assume that it's Ia Barton who picks him up, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, speaking of the Reverse Flash, we do obviously know that Tom Cavanagh will be reprising his role as Ia Barton. Now, whether he will play a younger version of Ia Barton or the present day version of Ia Barton, we don't know about that either, but it's just great to see Tom Cavanagh return to the role as the Reverse Flash once again. But he could also be reprising his role as Timeless Wells for this crossover as well. We do not know for sure. But obviously the main threat for this 5-part event is Despero, played by Tony Curran, and from what I'm seeing from the trailer, I cannot wait to see what he brings to the table because he genuinely looks like a really threatening and menacing villain. Now, we do know that the premise of Armageddon 2001 in the comics involves exploring the possible futures of these different characters in the DC universe. So in the context of the Arrowverse, that will obviously be changed up and we will explore the futures of these different characters in the Arrowverse. And we do know that time travel will be a heavily involved thing, saying that we're getting characters like Mia Queen, who's from 2040, and Damien Darhk, as I have mentioned before, died, but he's in this crossover, which obviously means that he has returned through time travel. From the trailer, there does seem to be more time travel involved than just picking up these different characters from different time periods, but that is just speculation for now. We do not know that for 100%, which is why I'm only brushing over it and not just going, too much in detail with it. But from these behind the scenes photos, they're not really set photos, they're more behind the scenes photos because it's an official photo. But this is obviously from The Flash Season 8 Episode 6, and we do actually see some more continuation of time travel beyond just Armageddon, because as I went through in the previous video, Bart and Nora seem to have traveled to a point in time during The Flash Season 1 in order to do something, which we obviously do not know what, but we do know that it is Season 1 time travel because we did see Eddie Thawne on set, as well as Joe West with his OG goatee over the actual full beard he had from The Flash's Season 6 and 7. We do also know that for this episode, Jay Garrick will also be returning, in which for this video, I'll obviously be going over some behind the scenes images coming from his Instagram posts. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so we do have 2 pictures to go over. One is this shot over here, which consists of John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick, Jessica Parker Kennedy as Nora West Allen, and Jordan Fisher's Bart Allen. And I'm guessing the guy who they took the picture with is like the director for this episode or something along those lines at least. But what's so interesting about this image is that not only do we have these 3 characters returning, which is very exciting, but also we are not just in the Speed Lab, but as you guys can see from the display behind John Wesley Shipp, it says The Flash. And if we head on to the next shot from this image, we do actually see the Flash suit on that display. So yeah, we're at the Flash Museum over here. And we know that the Flash Museum is from the future, most specifically 2049, which is where Bart and Nora are from. So yeah, it looks like we're getting some future time travel going on. So what makes this episode so interesting is not only are we getting some time travel to the Flash Season 1, but it also looks like we're getting some future time travel as well, which is very exciting. Obviously from these shots, we do see Jay Garrick with the future kids, so it would be safe to assume that Bart, Nora, and Jay are working together for something, which we obviously do not know the context of yet. But it will be interesting to see what brings Jay Garrick to the future to interact with these kids. Now, as I have mentioned in my previous video, this episode doesn't seem to be tied to any graphic novel. We do know that it is after the crossover for sure, but we do not know if this is part of graphic novel number 6 or if it's a filler episode. My guess would be that it would be some sort of a filler episode because this is when we would normally get those types of filler episodes. This will be an episode where we either deal with the fallout of Armageddon, where we get these bunch of different timeline changes and the speedsters are working together to keep the timeline intact. Or this could also be related to Iris's time sickness, which we do know from Eric Wallace that after Armageddon, they will be, going really in depth with this time sickness story throughout the whole of season 8. Any of those would be possible, but those would be my safe bets. But even if I'm wrong, I'm very interested to see what is going on over here because it looks really, really cool. But this does actually seem to be an episode without Barry, so I'm guessing that this will be an episode where we get Barry showing up for like 2 or 3 scenes and he ends up doing something else off screen, and then we will have these 3 speedsters being the main focus, in which if we do have the main focus being centered around those speedsters, I think that would be pretty cool if I'm being honest, and it does seem more along the lines of a fun filler episode with these 3 speedsters rather than just, a side character random filler episode. I would rather have something which is speedster related, so that's why I'm more, confident with this episode compared to other filler episodes. But obviously, Barry not showing up that much in this episode does make a lot of sense because usually around these times, as in after a crossover or a couple of episodes after he had a lot of screen time, Grant Gustin would be taking a break, and this would actually make sense because he has very recently came out of filming a 5-episode crossover event, which does take much longer to film than just normal episodes. So yeah, Grant Gustin, I think he's using his break right now, so he won't be in this episode as much, but we are getting these other speedsters to make up for it. This episode does seem to be a fun filler episode, but normally, as you guys know, I do get apprehensive with episodes which we have, very little amounts of Barry. But personally, I do believe that having Jay, Nora, and Bart there does kind of make up for the Miss Speedster stuff, but that just depends on the execution of this episode. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys are excited for this episode or not. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.